I'd really looked forward to catching up with Hugh. Having played and been okay at most sports I'd turned my hand to throughout my life, certainly a jack of all trades rather than a master of any, I was interested to learn what it takes to turn an interest into a passion, and a passion into a sporting career, and an extremely successful one at that. In Hugh's case, 2 Olympic Games were at the pinnacle of his sporting career, in amongst a host of other achievements and accolades along the way. As you'll hopefully know by now if you've seen other episodes, this segment is about wisdom worth sharing. At the end of every interview, I look back as part of the editing process and discover some of the gems that came out during the conversation, and I summarise them here. The title of this episode was You Need to Take Opportunities, and I think there's wisdom in this quote from Hugh. Many people can go through life feeling like they've been hard done to, that those around them who have done and achieved things or attained some elevated status, position, or worth have somehow been lucky, and they are the unlucky ones. Hugh did talk about a time when he considered himself to be lucky, specifically when it came to being fit and ready for competitions as they came around throughout most of his career. As we know in sports, there's always a risk that we can work hard for a long time and miss an opportunity through injury, or as we've been experiencing in the last few years with COVID illness too. That said, Hugh told us he sustained some injuries, serious ones at that, and ultimately these contributed to his decision to leave his sport early when he was on the rise as far as rankings were concerned. A decision that couldn't have been easy to make at that time, but as he says now, was the right one. But I want to focus on this word luck for a minute. I strongly believe that the definition of luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And listening to Hugh, there's no doubt he prepared, worked extremely hard, and set himself goals and was committed to achieving them. He also, as per the title of this episode, told us he was always willing to look at any opportunity, and he was always ready for the next one too. It's true that you can miss out on opportunities if you're ill prepared for them, but equally, if you're prepared but not open to or looking for and willing to accept the opportunities that may come your way, likewise, you'll miss out. Hugh has adopted this to his whole life. He's never had a grand plan, maybe with the exception of getting to the Olympics. Other than that, he has somehow created opportunities that have come his way by being prepared, committed, determined, organised and disciplined. And he's been willing to take those opportunities to see what comes. As he stated, often that has meant being willing to take some sacrifices. And I think that that's an understated element of what has helped Hugh be successful, his willingness to make sacrifices. He said that money didn't matter, but he would do things that fulfilled him and that he would enjoy. After all, having to sacrifice things, and it often can be money, is what prevents most of us from stepping into the next adventure. But as is the case for Hugh, so far in his career, it usually works out. Maybe we needed to take a leaf out of Hugh's book and be a bit more Jim Carrey-like and say yes more often. I want to quantify that with other wisdom that Hugh shared with us. Just taking a punt, a risk, saying yes more often, doesn't mean that it will automatically work out and that we'll get a great life coming our way. What was clear from Hugh was that he had to work hard to achieve his goals and ambition, in spite of not necessarily having the support he maybe would have liked to have had in the early days from those closest to him. He talked about needing to have a number of things, not just some of them, but all of them in place in order to succeed. And those included drive, organisation and discipline, commitment, sacrifice, determination, and the ability to think strategically in respect of what he would need to do to get there. And that included chunking down big goals into manageable pieces. In Hugh's words, then, you've got to action it. Only you can do it, and you've got to believe. So for those of us who have a fear of failing, Hugh said, when referring to some of the things that didn't quite pan out the way that he would have liked, these things happen. You have to be flexible and adaptable, which is wise words. The other thing that Hugh said was, you only get a bit of time, and you might as well give it all a go. How true that is. I hope you enjoyed listening to Hugh's story as much as I did, and hopefully you've been able to take something away that you can apply to some aspect of your life, work, and legacy. Use it, Share it with others. As I always say, sharing is like teaching, and teaching helps us retain what we've learned and commit to change, which of course is necessary if we are going to enhance our life's work. I hope you are happy, safe and successful in all that you do. And remember, live a life that is a story worth retelling. Say yes more often. I'm Steve Worsley, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Life's Work, the podcast all about wisdom worth sharing.